What is trending for weight loss in 2023 and 2024? Here are the top 7 things that I see trending for weight loss that are huge. There is so much going on right now, and here is what you need to know. As I share each trend, I'm going to give you a short recap of what is going on in this particular topic, and then I'm going to share my opinion. I'm Sarah with The Holy Mess. I've lost over 100 pounds, and I've been maintaining it for almost 20 years. I help thousands of women through my website, The Holy Mess, with the 3-day diet that's been featured twice now in Women's World magazine. And I love helping women to lose weight and keep it off so they can stay at their goal weight for life. So as I share each trend, tell us, is this something that you are interested in, you want to learn more about? What do you see coming for weight loss? Tell us about it in the comments. Well, there is so much going on. I gotta tell you, I have been writing about weight loss on my website since 2014, and the last 6 to 12 months, I have seen more changing, going on, information than we have ever seen before. And what I hope you take away from this video is hope. Whether you choose to use a particular trend, follow it, get more information about it or not, if it's not for you, I still think that all of these are going to provide us with more information that will make weight loss faster and easier than it's ever been before. Okay, here are the top 7 things that I see trending right now. Number 1, Ozempic, Wegovy, and other injectable weight loss medications. Number 2, keto is out, plant-based is in. Number 3, health at every size and body acceptance. Number 4, trauma-sensitive weight loss. Number 5, continuous glucose monitors or CGMs. Number 6, how the gut microbiome affects your weight. And number 7, the food industry, how we are influenced by packaged and processed foods. All right, let's dig into each one of these. Number 1, absolutely is huge right now. Whether you are looking on TikTok or Instagram or CNN, everyone is talking about GLP-1s, which is glucagon-like peptide-1 receptor antagonists. So these are medications, Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide. They right now are for the most part an injection that you take once a week. They are by prescription only. Originally, they were only for diabetes, but now have also been approved for obesity. These medications greatly affect appetite. They make you feel more full so that you eat less food, and also affect the brain so that people report that they are less interested in food, less obsessed with food, less drive for food. So what's going to happen with these medications? Certainly there are risks and side effects. The long-term effects really aren't known. They've been used for around 10 years, which is a fairly long time, but that's it. So we don't know what might happen if someone continues to take these medications long-term, 50, 60, 70 years. They're actually being tested right now, even in teenagers. Financial cost, they're expensive. Sometimes you can get prescriptions covered by your insurance, sometimes not. Like I said, we don't really know what the effects are with long-term use, but we know that you have to keep taking it. This would be like similar to like a high blood pressure medicine or thyroid medicine, where the expectation is that you would take it for the rest of your life. And they do have side effects. The largest being digestive concerns like nausea, vomiting, heartburn, because they slow down digestion. And there's some other long-term concerns as well. Here's my opinion on these. I'm actually not opposed to weight loss medication, and I know that is not a popular opinion. There is so much Ozempic shaming right now. The idea that people are saying people shouldn't be taking these medications, it's wrong, they should just have more self-control. Here's my thought about that, and I will say too, I have not taken these medications. I don't know what it would be like to take one. Weight loss is hard, you guys. If you're watching this video, you can probably relate. Weight loss is tough. I have another video, and I'll link it below, where I've shared about my hunger and my appetite, which has really pretty much been lifelong and continues now that I've lost over 100 pounds. It's not easy. I'm not over here on easy street because I'm at my goal weight. I work really hard every day to maintain my weight loss. Yes, I have more food freedom than I have had ever in my life. Yes, I am successfully maintaining at my goal weight, and I thank God for that. Yes, God has grown me in the fruits of the Spirit and my self-control and my discipline and my boundaries. But is it easy? No. Does my brain and my body still tell me that I need more food? Yes, it's a challenge. And I've had people who even kind of get mad at me or call me out on, comments from videos or, different things, or email me. They're angry that I share that it's hard. Well, it's true. I'm not someone who is here to just tell you that this is going to be so easy and it's no big deal to get to your goal weight, or that I don't still work hard at it. Now, does that mean that will be your experience? No, maybe you'll lose weight and this will just become something that's not that difficult for you. But I've also had people tell me it's really helpful that I share the truth. And all I can share is my truth. This is my story. My experience is that it's still pretty challenging for me. So, if a weight loss medication might be coming or is here now that can really help you, I see that as one more tool in the toolbox. There are some serious risks. There are possible side effects. We don't really know yet what these medications do long term. So am I saying you should take one? No, not necessarily. This is a decision for you to make alone, for you to make with your doctor. And I am not providing any medical advice here. I'm just giving you my opinion. But I'm not going to rule these out. I also see that there's a lot more coming down the pike. Drug manufacturers are fast at work to give us more of these, more options with these medications, and of course they're after it for the money. That's what their business is. They're in the business of making money. There's nothing wrong with that. We just need to go into it as really wise consumers, recognizing that that's why they're doing what they're doing, is for the financial benefit. There is a lot more coming. We're seeing these probably in the next couple of years. They're testing them now for binge eating and compulsive overeating. They're testing them, as I mentioned, in teenagers. They're testing pill forms. So I think that they will be more readily available. I think they'll help manage the side effects. I think they'll be available in pill form. Eventually they'll be less expensive, but that's going to be further down the pike. So that's what I see as coming with GLP-1s. What are your thoughts about this? Share about it in the comments. Okay, number 2, keto is out, plant-based is in. You might notice that on tons of food packages, now it says plant-based all across it. The reason that the ketogenic diet that was very popular over the last couple years is starting to trend out. First of all, it's just really, really hard. I did the ketogenic diet for quite a while. Another family member of mine did. It's tough. It's a very low carb diet. Doctors are concerned that it tends to be high in saturated fat and pretty low in fiber, just not especially healthy or sustainable for most people. A plant-based diet is becoming very popular. I followed a completely vegan, low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet very strictly for about 6 months. There were some huge benefits to it. I enjoyed it, actually, but it's pretty restrictive too, especially if you follow that method and you're eating very, very low fat. It can be extremely low fat. What I found really beneficial about a plant-based diet, besides the fact that you're getting all of that healthy fiber, the nutrients, and like the vegetables, the whole grains, the beans, is that it's very low in calorie density. I have a free calorie density guide that teaches you more about this. Calorie density naturally leads to weight loss because you are feeling full. You're eating a large volume of food for relatively low calories. But do I think that most people need to eat all whole foods plant-based? Honestly, no. And just because something says plant-based on it doesn't mean it's healthy. I think some of the newer replacement meats like Impossible Burger and Beyond Burger, honestly, some of those are higher in fat than if you ate lean meat. So I think all of us could be more plant forward. All of us need to include more healthy whole grains, vegetables, fruits, beans, definitely. But do you need to eat 100% plant-based? Not necessarily. And just because something says plant-based, don't think that that necessarily means that it's healthy. Remember what I've taught you. Turn the package around and look at the back. Don't pay attention to what's on the front. All right, number 3 is health at every size, body acceptance, and ending weight stigma. Health at every size is a movement, and it is a set of beliefs that promotes a society, and I'm going to read this from their website, where we accept and respect the inherent diversity of body shapes and sizes and reject the idealizing or pathologizing of specific weights. And that's from the Association for Size Diversity and Health. The concept is that just because someone is at a normal or typical weight doesn't mean they're healthy, and just because a person is overweight doesn't necessarily mean that they're unhealthy. And we all know that this is true. We know people who are heavier than us who might be healthier than us, and people who are lighter than us who might really not be that healthy at all. My opinion, I can definitely relate to body shaming, being put down because of your body. I was overweight as a child. I was teased. I was overweight as a teen. You better believe I was teased. I was ostracized. I was obese as an adult. I was ignored. I was belittled. I was ridiculed. I had medical providers who didn't treat me well. So yes, I can definitely relate to all of that. And I believe the time is now to end body shaming. As we are starting to accept more diversity in our world and our culture, of course, we should be more accepting of people in all different types of bodies, which includes bodies that are heavier than what our society considers ideal or even typical. But I would also say I'm not really a proponent or a believer in the health at every size movement. For me, they take it too far from what I believe. I don't believe it's physically healthy for our bodies to be very heavy. I know that when I was 100 pounds heavier, I wasn't healthy. It was hard for me to get up and down. My knees hurt. I was winded. I had chafing all the time in places that were not comfortable. I just wasn't a healthy person. So while I do believe that body shaming is never okay, people should not be ostracized or judged based on the size of their body, I can't take it so far as to say that being overweight is healthy. Number 4, trauma-sensitive weight loss. Trauma is any emotional distress that you experience when you're in a situation that is beyond your ability to emotionally handle. All of us have experienced trauma. But for some of us, especially when we experience trauma in our childhood, it has greatly impacted us. Now, please understand that when we talk about trauma-informed weight loss care, it goes beyond just saying like, oh, someone experienced a trauma and they're feeling the stress of that, and so they're using food to cope. There might be some truth to that, but this goes much further than that. What we know is that trauma changes the brain. Trauma doesn't just impact you, trauma changes you. Trauma changes the brain. And when your brain has been changed by trauma, you need some healing for that, possibly before you can lose weight. So I'm a big fan of trauma-sensitive weight loss. I think this is important. I think this is an area where many of us can find healing and move forward. This is something that was impactful for me. It wasn't until I had therapy and really worked through some of the trauma of my childhood and later in my life that I was able to lose the weight and keep it off long term. And I have a blog post about this, what it's like to attend therapy for weight loss. I will put a link to it below, and that can help you out more. Number 5 is CGMs, or continuous glucose monitors. So these are little monitors. They look like a little white disc, and they go on the back of the arm, and they continuously monitor your blood sugar. Originally, these were used for people who are diabetic, and they still are, but now some companies are making them available for everyone. So you might also hear it referred to as a non-diabetic continuous glucose monitor. The idea behind these is that all of us have individual bodies that are different, that are affected differently. And when you use a monitor, you can pay attention to especially the foods you eat, but also things like sleep and stress and how that changes your blood sugar. What we know is that when you have a very large blood sugar spike, you can then have a crash. And those crashes can lead to fatigue, it can lead to food cravings. And the concept is that if you can learn to keep your blood sugar more steady, you won't have the crashes, and so you won't have some of those negative effects. My opinion, the jury's still out on this one for me. I have never used one, so I can't say. If you've used one or considering getting one, tell us about it in the comments. I have followed some blood sugar hacks. I read a book about it, and I would say that there was definitely some benefit. Some of those things were like eating vegetables before you eat anything else, because the fiber kind of lines your gut and helps keep your blood sugar more steady. Things like eating protein every time you eat. I think there's some benefit to that, but do we need to go so far as to all wear a monitor? Not so sure. Also, yes, our blood sugar goes up, but that's normal. That's part of what our bodies are doing to regulate. I'm not sure it's necessarily a problem unless you're experiencing a lot of those effects all the time. Number 6, how the gut microbiome affects your body weight. Well, this is a big one, and this is an area where I think we're going to see a lot more research to come. What we know is that each person has tons of bacteria and other like little critters that are living in your digestive tract. It's really just until recent years we didn't understand just how big of a deal this was. We knew it was there, but we didn't know how much it was affecting each person. Every person's gut microbiota is unique to them. Things that can change it are where you live, who you live with, the foods you eat, even like if your mom had a cesarean section or not, will affect your gut microbiome. We can also see that people who are heavier have different gut microbiome than people who are thinner or naturally thin or don't really have as like an overdrive of their appetite. But we don't know what to do with that information yet. There are some basic things that we know that will help your gut microbiome. One thing is eating more whole, unprocessed foods. We definitely know is beneficial. In fact, they're starting to learn that when you eat a lot of processed food, that affects your gut microbiome to the point where those bugs, that bacteria and those other things will lead you to have more food cravings. So the more you eat processed food, the more you want processed food because of your gut microbiome. We also know there are foods that you can eat that help increase the diversity, which seems to be a really good thing. Again, the whole unprocessed foods high in fiber, a wide variety of plant-based foods, fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi can help. Jury's still out on taking probiotics and prebiotics. There might be some benefit, but right now the research isn't really showing that helps a whole lot. So I think we're going to see a lot more to come in this area, but there's also just a lot we don't know yet. Number 7, the food industry. Oh my goodness. I have a video about this, insider secrets that the food industry doesn't want you to know. The food industry is just that, an industry. Their job is to sell food, and they are doing a very good job of selling us all kinds of food. Junk food, processed food, ultra processed food, foods that hit the bliss point. The bliss point is that combination of sweet and salt and fat that research has shown just lights up the dopamine in our brains and makes us eat more. So the food that is currently in our culture, is it driving our appetite? Yes. Oh yes, definitely. And is it good for us? Not so much. I think most of us can agree that our current food supply is not making us healthier, and definitely there's really good research that it could even be making us more sick, more overweight. Right now, 60% of the American diet is either processed or ultra processed. So absolutely that is affecting our appetite. My opinion, pretty big proponent that we need to improve our diet. And that needs to come both from the food industry and from us ourselves choosing healthier. But it's hard. I'm not here to judge you. I grew up on processed food, junk food, fast food. I ate it all through, my young adulthood. I love that stuff, you guys. I totally get off on it. My brain goes bing, 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 bing on those processed foods, junk foods. I love fast food. I love McDonald's French fries. Tell me all about it. Taco Bell. I'm all for it. But I've also come to recognize that those foods really aren't doing me any favors. So I still eat treats. I still eat fast food sometimes. I still eat junk food sometimes, but it doesn't make up the majority of my diet anymore because I know those foods really aren't doing me any favors. And I have concerns about how much so many of us are eating those foods. So, do I see changes coming for the food industry? I don't know yet. I think it's going to be challenging, but I would encourage all of us to do the best we can to include more plant-based foods so that we can be healthier. Okay, I would love to hear from you in the comments. What do you think about these trends? And I wanted to make sure that I mention, as I'm recording this video, coming up is the Holy Mess Fall Weight Loss Challenge for 2023. It's going to be September 1st through 30th, and enrollment opens August 17th. Come and join me. If you're watching this video later, we'll have other weight loss challenges in 2024, but this is going to be a big one. These are live events. I run the group. I'm in the group every single day. You get tons of support, motivation, accountability. It's lots of fun, exciting, motivating. You get this printable with all the dates. You get a chart with things to check off for every single day. There's a daily check-in thread, a weekly weigh-in thread, weekly videos with all new teaching. In this particular one, I'm going to be teaching about treats and trigger foods, how to still enjoy the treats that you like but lose weight, but yet not binge on them or overeat them, how to manage them. It can be done. I promise it can. So come and join me for the Fall Weight Loss Challenge. Enrollment opens August 17th. If you are not on my email list, make sure that you join that so we can let you know when the Weight Loss Challenge opens. I'll put information about that in the comments. I'm Sarah with The Holy Mess. Thanks so much for watching, and I'd love to hear from you what you think about these trends and what's to come. Bye.